Hello, and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. I don't even know. The days just bleed together these days. I hope everyone's having a good evening. We got a dope show for you tonight. I'm very excited. But let's start off with some sponsors as per the usual. We got toplobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on the show, Break the Cycle. Check him out today. Use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount where you can get this great Disobey Your Local Tyrant shirt that I'm wearing today. It means even more now that Cuomo has had to kick rocks, which has been really awesome. You can also join the Patreon Subscribe Star or become a member here on the YouTube channel, which will get you all the exclusive content, but also if you get into a private Discord server where you get new Top Lobster gear up to 2 weeks early at a 30% discount. Shit really pays for itself if you're one of the lower tier patrons or subscribe stars or monthly channel members. And of course, executive producer of the show, anthemplanning.com, for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check them out today. See what they can do for your business, home, or personal life. They're doing a wonderful job that the government has historically been garbage at. They're amazing people, really good people. Go check them out. Guys, we've got an awesome show for you tonight. This gentleman was actually my fourth guest on Break the Cycle back, way back when, 5 months ago. Now we're on episode 87, which is pretty wild. He's the co-executive producer of The Monopoly on Violence, and he is the voice behind Free Man Beyond the Wall. He is Mr. Pete Quinones. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Josh?
I can't complain, man. I'm glad to have you back.
I didn't like that gentleman thing.
Oh, you're not a gentleman. I'm sorry. I apologize. We got a lot of people watching tonight, man. Everyone comes to check out Pete, dude. It's smart. It's an important thing, man. So, Pete, what have you been up to?
Let's see if we can entertain him.
Yeah, we'll try. What have you been up to, man? What's the haps?
I just moved recently, about 13 hours away from where I was, and it's been quite the adventure. Let's put it that way.
Nice. Well, we won't dox you, but I hope it's somewhere warmer.
No.
It's colder.
It's somewhere cold.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I did it too, man. I did it too. I talk about it enough on the show. Everyone knows I left California to go to the middle of the country where it's freezing balls. But vaccine passports are illegal. Mask mandates are illegal. We're pretty much normal here, so you can't be mad about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, even if they did that here where I'm at, people are not going to comply. So I think that's more important. I think that's even more important than the laws themselves. Sure. Yeah, it's really, it is the issue of our time, man. And we talk a lot about it on the show, but it's just so important to me that the people understand that there's enough of us to stand up and say, hey, we're not gonna deal with this shit anymore. But I mean, it's been 5 months since I had you on the show last time. We keep hearing, in the beginning of this thing, we heard 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Then it was 6 months to flatten the curve. Now it's been 19 months to when does it come to a head? How do we stop this stuff, Pete? What do you think? What do you think libertarians should be doing? Libertarians are scared to possess power. So what the hell are they going to do?
Yeah.
They were scared of violence. So, it's like a whole bunch of people in New Hampshire had their shit stolen from them. They literally had possessions stolen from them. And I suggested, well, go in with a gun and take it back. And then some idiot on Twitter whose screen name is Yeet the Police is like, no, you don't do that. So what are you going to do? Call the police? Mr. Yeet the Police? I love these cowards. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's just mass non-compliance. But I don't think it's going to be mass. I think it's going to be at the local level. I think it's going to have to be targeted.
Yeah.
And I think there are some areas. I mean, if you're in New York City, you're screwed. No one is going to, well, I mean, if we see people fighting back in New York City and it actually making a difference, I mean, talk about the biggest white pill there could possibly be. But I just heard Buck Johnson saying this morning that he just got back from LA, and he said, except at the airport, no one was wearing masks.
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking that, I'm from the Bay Area, right? I'm from San Francisco area. People are pussies there. I mean, absolute pussies. But people in LA are fucking tough, dude. I mean, it's, other than like, Rodeo and like some of the high fashion areas, most of the people in LA don't give a shit what the government has to say. They don't give a shit what the police have to say. They're going to do what they're going to do. I mean, you're not going to roll through South Central and tell everybody in South Central, hey, man, you guys got to put your masks on. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, San Francisco at this point is like the whole city is literally like a public park toilet.
Oh yeah.
Where I mean, it's not even human anymore. It's pretty much like, I hate to say it, but a lot of cities in India.
Yeah.
And it's pretty close.
I talk about it. There's actually a fucking, it's called Poo Maps, dude. Right? Like it's an app you can download on your phone that shows you where all the poops are around San Francisco, like on the street. And it's like just the whole map is brown, dude. It's fucked up. And I grew up.
So gross.
Oh, it's disgusting. I grew up going to San Francisco. I mean, it was like, it was my favorite city to go skateboard in growing up. I mean, go down to Embarcadero and skate. There was like, the Vans Warped Tour was there all the time. They had Pier 39. You had Haight and Ashbury, where if you wanted to buy some weed or some mushrooms or something, you could just walk for 5 minutes and find it. It was fun. It was a good time, and now it's just so shitty. People get beat up all the time. It's turned into New York City. I mean, really is what it's like, except more shit and more heroin needles everywhere than New York City, if you can believe that. It's really an absolute mess, dude. And the reason it's like that is because of Gavin Newsom. It was like Gavin Newsom was the mayor of San Francisco. He's the one that fucked it all up. And what did California do? They helped them fail upwards. Yeah. And now they're trying. Now they're having buyer's remorse. Well, this guy locked us all down, fucked us all up with the, blah 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 blah, and so it's just an absolute mess, man. Rogue Liberty Pod, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. He said, just dropping some shithole money for two of my favorite people in the movement. Hope you're both well. Those £5 he gave us, which I think is actually probably worth more than US dollar now at this point.
It is. Yeah.
Brandon Hiles threw $5 super chat. Pete, alien or aliens?
Oh my God. I got to go with the first one. It was a horror movie. Aliens was a action movie. It was, action sci-fi. The first one was an absolute horror movie. You didn't know what was coming next. And I'm a big horror movie fan. So I got to go with the first one. Yeah, me too, man. I'm a big horror movie buff for sure. I got a Freddy Krueger. I was going to do like a whole, horror movie piece on my leg, and I got to Freddy Krueger, and then life happened, and so I got Freddy, but I haven't gotten past that. Brandon Kane, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. He said, poop maps are the price we pay for a civilized society. Well, you know what I think it might be too is back in the 70s, people don't realize exactly how far right San Francisco was. I mean, it was illegal up to a certain point in the late 70s for a homosexual to be like a public school teacher. Right. And once they started passing all the laws they just, instead of creeping to the center, like, you would hope status would do. I mean, because they're not going to stay far right, and anything that's not going to stay far right is going to go far left. They just went completely far left. I mean, they went off the map on this one. I mean, they went all the way to a third world country, basically. Yeah, it got absolutely insane, and I think that started with Harvey Milk. The Harvey Milk era is when that stuff really started to change, because it was like super hardcore right conservative, it was like the wealthy conservatives lived there. And then if you go right across the Golden Gate Bridge, you get into I always forget the name. It's like the place that owns the Golden Gate Bridge. Don't they call it like the triangle or the peninsula or something? It's a county, and the name is. I used to deliver furniture in this county, and it's some of the richest people in the country live there. It's actually the richest county in the entire country. It's where like Novato and Mount Tamalpais and all that stuff is at. And there's actually like a private society there that owns the Golden Gate Bridge. It's one of the only like privately owned bridges like that in California. Cool. And those people are like used to be really, really hardcore conservative, and now they're like
I mean, there's BLM flags all over the whole county, and Antifa, like the support. It's like none of them are Antifa. You know what I mean? They're all super rich and wealthy and work in the financial district in the San Francisco. So it's really, really crazy, man. But yeah, dude, we've been talking on the show quite a bit. Yesterday I had Top Lobster on, and we talked quite a bit about the living in Ancapistan in your head, and how libertarians, and I made this post last night on Twitter, and I'm pissing some people off, I get it, but I made this post last night on Twitter where I said libertarians are going to be sitting around in their political philosophy circle jerks, and in 6 months we're going to end up being Australia. You know what I mean? I mean, what's your take on that? What do you think? Do you think that we could end up like Australia here?
Well, in about 15 minutes, I have a episode dropping that Dave Smith and I had a conversation the other day, and we were talking about a USA Today Ipsos poll where like 61% of the people polled, I think it was 1,088 people were polled, and 61% said they were in favor of vaccine mandates. And Dave, being Mr. White Pill, me being Mr. Black Pill, pointed out, he said, that's still 40% of the country who's like, no way. No way. And you just have to ask yourself the question, who has the more, who has the more hardcore minority part of that group? Now, I know that the 61% part of that group have the narrative, have the media, have academia on their side. But still, I mean, I think that 40%, 39%, a push could be made. And when I look at Australia, I mean, it's heartbreaking, man. There was a couple of those videos. I know you've probably seen the video of like kids being ripped out of their parents' arms to be forced vaccinated. And I mean, I just don't know. I don't have kids, and I try to imagine having a kid, and I think, well, this is why I have guns.
Yeah.
This is why we have guns. And I actually read something, and I shared it into a private group recently, and I forget who, someone linked it on Twitter, I think. As of 2016, there were more guns in Australia than before the quote unquote buyback. So there are guns there.
Oh, there's still guns, but they got rid of like it was like 3.2 million guns or something like that they.
Yeah, but it's already back. It's already back over that number.
Oh shit.
So yeah, that's what most people don't know. Everybody's like, well, they shouldn't have given up their guns. Well, first of all, the Americans saying they shouldn't have given up their guns ain't doing shit with their guns. How about you shut the fuck up? And second of all, they do have guns there. They're just not using them any more than we were last year,
right?
Except for the 18 people who were gonna kidnap Whitmer, and 12 of them turned out to be FBI.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of FBI agents pointing the finger at each other, and then like one random dude that's like, "Hey, I'm down, dude."
It's a friggin' Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Earlier we were talking about the New Hampshire thing, the Eat the Police. By the way, Eat the Police is 100% Ethan Owens, Angela Fisher Owens' husband. I know who he is. He's a giant bitch. Literally, this guy's like a fucking chihuahua. He couldn't hurt anybody. He called the police on Joe Burns from Texas because he ran up and tried to hug Joe Burns, and Joe Burns pushed him on the ground, and he called the police on him. So he was talking about these things that you said, these kind of insurrective kind of things that you were talking about when it comes to the New Hampshire, and there's so many people. This is what we talked a lot about last night. It's like how do we stay, like, do we want to stay consistent all the way to the boxcar, or do we want to do whatever we can to push back against the people who are literally trying to smash our families, our livelihoods, all that shit, man? I mean, it's absolutely insane to me that people would be telling me that we aren't allowed to fight back yet.
Well, and I understand if that's coming from a strategic standpoint. If somebody's like, look, you just don't take up, but one person takes up arms, they're going to be made to be a lunatic, a white supremacist, whatever. If you're going to do something like that, put it this way. If you can organize to the point where you would have enough people armed to make a move. You don't even need the guns anymore.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't need the guns anymore. You've got the organization. You've got the wherewithal to do something. They're going to back down. They're going to back down. They're going to negotiate. They're going to figure something out. You won't even need the guns anymore. You'll be able to lay them down like the French.
Right. Well, and I think some Afghan goat herders proved that you don't need AR-15s and F-14s, man.
You just need some leftover Khyber Pass AKs from the Soviet days, man. You ever hear the stories about like the United States, the soldiers would show up in like Pashtun villages, and the Pashtuns thought they were Russians?
No, but it makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't know. They're so disconnected. That's why like people are like, oh, who was it? James Woods. Oh, Mr. God. 165 IQ.
This fucking
Taliban's going to come marching over the unprotected Mexican border. These guys don't want anything to do with like a war. First of all, they're not even terrorists.
Yeah.
I mean,
nobody understands that at all.
Yeah. They're not terrorists. I mean, now wherever occupation happens, terrorism happens. And it doesn't exactly have to be Muslim, because all you had to do was look at Northern Ireland during the Troubles, and you can find out that even people with pasty white skin, blow themselves up when there's occupation. That's why occupation's a really bad idea.
Right.
But these people just want to be left alone. I mean, come on. The fact that they thought that some Pashtuns thought they were Russians, it just lets you know what a low time preference these guys have.
No shit.
First of all. And second of all, it's like they're just living their lives. They don't even know that these people didn't even know that there was an invasion by another country or that the Russians left. Right. It's truly amazing.
Yeah, because the Russians, amazing. I mean, before we showed up in Afghanistan bombing the fuck out of them, the Russians were over there bombing the fuck out of them.
Yeah. Oh, and people, they kicked the Russians ass. People were like, well, because, the United States helped them and everything. I really wish the United States didn't help them, because I'm telling you, they would have kicked the Russians' ass, man.
Yeah,
they would have kicked.
It's wild, man. We talked about this quite a bit on the show too. The Afghan papers show clearly. I mean, that there was no way we were ever going to be able to win that war. We knew that just because of the terrain, we couldn't win that war.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who read what's his name's book, Luttrell. The one the way they got shot down and they had to throw themselves down.
The lone survivor guys.
Yeah. Just look at that terrain. Look at the terrain they had to deal with just on a local level.
Yeah.
I mean, just from where they went down. I mean, that's what do you? I think, what did Scott say? One of the biggest cash grabs of all time. Just 20 years of cash and 20 years of more than $1 trillion just going through, funneling everywhere.
Not to mention cheap opiates.
Oh yeah, and I've had Major Danny Sherson on a few times. We usually talk about history because he taught military history at West Point, but he was also in Iraq for the surge and in Afghanistan for the surge, and he had a forward operating base that was like never getting attacked, and no one ever got killed, even when they went out on patrol.
Sure. And
like they would send, the generals would come in and go, "How are you doing this?" And he'd go, "We pay off the Taliban when we go out on patrol. We pay them not to kill us."
Right.
That's all you really need to know about what was going on in Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy shit, man. We got some more super chats. Let's see. Brandon Hiles, thanks for the $5 super chat. He said, "Alien is the better movie, but I prefer The Thing."
Oh yeah, Thing was amazing. Oh my god. Kurt Russell was in that.
Yeah. Very young. Yeah. Very young.
Yeah. And still calls himself an anarchist to this day.
Yeah. It's funny. There's a few people like that in Hollywood. Gary Oldman is one of them as well, which I talked about this a lot with my friends. Like, if you're talking about the most underrated actors in the world, Gary Oldman is up there, man.
He played Sid Vicious and Sid and Nancy.
He played Sid Vicious. I mean, he's played so many. He played Dracula.
Yeah, the Cop and the Professional.
Oh God, it was one of the greatest. Like, just amazing. Yeah. And then Bram Stoker's Dracula. He played Dracula. Yeah, he's done so many good things. And then Detective Gordon in the Dark Knight series. I mean, he's done some really good shit. Daniel Daniel 3 Biblical Anarchy through $10 super chat. He said, "Tell Pete, despite our Twitter clashes, I still love him. I agree we need non-compliance, and we certainly need to be willing to fight, and we have to focus on the local level 100%. Hope no hard feelings."
Love him too.
Yeah, he's cool, man. I had him on the show. He's also one of the executive producers. I
don't know how to back down on Twitter.
Why should you? It's Twitter. I try to tell people, like, if you're one of those people who gets really easily offended, just leave Twitter. Go back to Facebook, man. Yeah. Like, seriously, don't come on Twitter, because we have a very
Facebook can be worse.
Oh yeah, but well, it just depends. You can really lock down what you see on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Well, apparently now that everybody on like Twitter blocks Sarwalk's going absolutely insane on like Facebook.
Dude, have you seen his posts? He gets like 6 likes now.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It's gone. Like, he has no more like platform. It's gone.
Just starving him. I
love it, dude. It's beautiful. We did the same thing to Archie too. And now Archie's
he blocked me a long time ago.
Oh yeah, he's not going to deal with you. You're a dirty white supremacist, dude.
I was told by a mutual friend of ours who's still in like this chat that Archie's in, that like I'm one of his favorite. Like, he talks about me every day.
Archie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, in this chat, in this like messenger group, he talks about me every day.
Hudak talks about you all the time too, man.
Oh, that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah. Those guys, and me, dude, if you go into the Fakertarians, like, I'm in the Fakertarians, they have like a community group on Facebook. I swear to God, man, there's like 20 posts a day about me. And I'm like,
I got another 30 days on Facebook, so I've been trying to stay off. You know what I got 30 days for?
What? What'd you do now, Pete?
I put up a post that said I'd rather the Taliban have all those weapons than my local police department.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are they going to do? You know what I mean? What are they going to do to us? They ain't going to do shit to us. And, and fucking, it's just
Facebook gave me 30 days for that.
It's so weird, dude. The whole thing is so weird. Thanks, Brandon Kane, for becoming the newest supporter of Break the Cycle. I appreciate you, brother. Cigars and Sig Arms, $5 super chat. Hey, Pete, didn't you say you were doing a documentary on the Popo? Is there an ETA on that?
Actually, ETA, no, we learned on the first one, we don't say when it's going to come out. But we're getting into the interviews. I'm going to be talking to Bruce Benson, who wrote To Serve and Protect, really good, anarcho-capitalist Austrian economist. One of my favorite books, because I'm going to interview him for my podcast on Friday. I mean, in his book, he does stuff like, he goes back to the colonies and shows how they handled private policing. He's one of the people who busted the myth of the Old West being like shootouts and violent and everything. I mean, he just shows how like people in the Old West just kept their doors open. You know, it was trains got robbed every once in a while. I mean, it was like barely any banks got robbed, and I can't wait. I'm going to talk to him about being in the documentary. But yeah, I mean, we're the one thing that we were able to do on this one was get a research team together up front, and we didn't collect as much money as we wanted to for this, but we definitely have enough money to pay people, which no one got paid on the first one. I mean, we lost money on the first one. So we were out of pocket on the first one. Although we thought naively we could do it for $15,000. We got 25, and then people even gave more after that, and then we had to take money out of pocket, but it was fine. I love it, and it's on Amazon Prime, so it's like, I mean, I have a friggin' documentary where my name is in the first executive producer credit, and I'm on Amazon Prime. That's just so exciting, and it's an amazing documentary. Yeah, it's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch The Monopoly on Violence. It's amazing. It's worth every second, I promise. And but yeah, this is going to happen, and it's going to be fantastic. What people really need to understand is that this is not a libertarian documentary. We're aiming this to the mainstream. So a lot of the solutions we're looking at are solutions that I've been writing about for years within the system. And of course, we're going to have solutions outside of the system. I already got an okay from Dale Brown, Detroit Threat Management, to be interviewed and everything, because I've interviewed him a bunch of times. And so yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this one. But this one's going to look so much different, because we brought Cody Smith in from, I think he was in the Tom Woods Facebook group, and that's how he just offered his services at the last minute, and he did the whole intro, like the intro right up to where we start the interview with James C. Scott in the beginning, and it just looks beautiful. Well, he's in for the whole thing this time.
Oh, nice.
So this thing is going to look unbelievable, and it's going to be like, totally ready for Netflix. Now, if it gets on Netflix, different story, but I'm really excited for this one.
Well, when you get there, man, when you get to that shopping area, let me know, man, because if you go back, I was going to try and do a documentary with my buddy James Smith from England, and then when Vinnie Marshall told me you guys were doing the documentary, I was like, all right, we'll put it back on the back burner and not fuck around. But I know a guy who back then was able to maybe help us get it on Netflix. So if that's something that you got going on, dude, because Netflix have changed the game, dude. I mean, if you guys got on Netflix, unfortunately,
we'd love to get Monopoly on Netflix, but I don't know that they'd ever allow that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They'd let little 11-year-old girls twerk, but putting a documentary about the Monopoly on violence might be rough,
Dude, I would love to see Jeff Deist, Lou Rockwell, Ryan McMaken,
on
the
Netflix.
Most based motherfuckers on the planet on Netflix.
Dude, that'd be so good.
It makes me so happy that they're on Amazon Prime. When I saw Lou recently, and I'm like, how does it feel knowing that you're in a documentary on Amazon Prime? And he just chuckled.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, dude, I'm stoked. And how dare you make something that's not aimed at libertarians, Pete?
I know.
Nazi.
I know. Well, I'm trying to change the culture, man.
Good. That's what we have to do, man. It's the culture war is absolutely insane. And in fact, I'm doing my 100th episode's coming up in like 2 weeks, and I'm doing a roundtable about the culture war, man. And if you want to come onto that, you'd be more than
just let me know. I'd love to come on. And
I got Maj and I got Phil from All That Remains is coming on. I was trying to get Dave and Eric July, but Dave's big timing me right now. I don't know what I did, dude. I must have pissed him off or something.
Oh man, Dave.
I was like, Dave, you got to come on. It's my 100th show, man. Already, it's been like 6 months, 100 shows. Top Lobster.
I got Tom on my 100 show.
I was trying to do Tom too. I was trying to make it because I think I could do 8 people with my new setup, and so I was like, man, it'd be really nice to have just a dope culture war talk for like 2 hours. You know what I mean?
The guest on my 500 show pissed a lot of people off.
Which one was that? You have Nick Fuentes.
Curtis Yarbin.
Oh, who cares? Curtis is awesome, man. It's so funny, dude. I get a lot of shit. I want to get Curtis on the show too. He's great, man.
He's awesome.
But anytime I bring up the cathedral, the lolberts are like, "Oh, you're a white nationalist." I'm like, "Do you realize that if it was an anti-Semitic term, we would, call it the synagogue or the, you know what I mean, like, or temple, the temple, not the cathedral."
That's because they're not clever. They don't know. You ever notice that like the only people who hear dog whistles are like the people who like? I mean, it's like I've never thought that somebody was dog whistling to me. Right.
Me neither.
And who would be dog whistling to me anyway? The Spanish, like, white nationalists. I mean, I'm sure there are some out there. I'm sure that John Hudak can come up with like a couple Spanish white nationalists that
he's got like 5 screenshots of saved from like 10 years ago. And you're like, dude, just give me a break. Yeah. It's funny because these guys are in that group now calling me a white nationalist because I have had Ryan Dawson on, and now I'm having you
Ryan's
on.
Amazing.
And I had,
Ryan's awesome.
yeah. And I had, who else was it that they really hated that I just had? Oh, Jared from Hopping.org. And
Jared's amazing.
Yeah, Jared's great.
Jared's awesome.
He's great.
Oh
but there's some papers from Hopping.org that really upset.
I saw those.
Yeah. They really upset them.
They're pretty based.
Yeah.
They're pretty based.
And so they're all calling me a white nationalist now, and I'm like, you fucking idiots! I'm half Israeli. Like I'm literally half. My dad's side of the family's from Israel. My mom's side of the family is mostly Spanish. Like you guys are idiots.
My dad's side of the family, the Spanish side of the family, is Sephardic Jews, and my grandmother on my mother's side is Ashkenazi Jew. It's like I'm 75% Jewish.
Yeah.
But I fucking hate Israel and I want to see them burned to the ground. But
right. But
because that has nothing to do with Judaism.
That's what I try to explain to people. And it's so funny that if you talk about, the apartheid state there, or you talk about, Zionism, you're automatically anti-Semitic. And it's like, my family is Israeli. and they hate the Zionist government. It's just like us here. Yeah. It's like libertarians here in this country talking about our neocon government or our progressive left government. It's the same fucking thing. It's just you can't talk about Israel because if you do it about Israel, you're anti-Semitic, which is bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
Well, I mean, my partner, the legendary Sheldon Richman at the Libertarian Institute.
Oh, boy.
Wrote Coming to Palestine. I mean, he is one of the most anti-Zionist people on the planet. He doesn't even consider himself a Jew anymore because he says you're a Jew if you practice Judaism.
Right.
And I've actually heard Ben Shapiro say that. I've actually heard Ben Shapiro say, I don't believe you're born a Jew. I believe you're a Jew if you practice Judaism. And then again, he of course supports a country that if you can just prove you have one drop worth of Jewish blood, you can go there and get a free house. Right. A free house that they stolen from somebody else. Oh, it just sounds like, I mean, what's funny, you ever notice that Israel is like the only saving grace for democracy in the Middle East, and they're like a socialist freaking country?
Yeah, well, democracy almost always becomes this socialist.
Well, they were socialists from the start. Yeah. You can go there and get a free house.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
It's free. It's like, what the hell is that?
That's it, kids. We're moving.
It happened. Yeah. Hey, I've thought about invoking it.
Yeah, well,
I also have German citizenship. I've thought about trying to go to Liechtenstein too. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Germany's all right, man. If you can get past their socialized medicine and socialist bullshit, the Germans are pretty cool.
I mean, that's everywhere outside of the
Israelis.
States.
There's a lot of Israelis that are really fucking cool too, man. And there's a lot of people who live there that fucking hate their government. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But it's when you
especially the hardcore Orthodox.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they can't stand it, man. They're always the IDF is always kicking their ass. Yep. But they come back and they protest like crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty funny, man. My daughter, my blood daughter, her mother is Ashkenazi Jew, and then I'm half Israeli, and my family's like they're Orthodox and obviously like anti-Zionist Jews. My dad's side of the family. So we have enough. I mean, Israel, we might come to you, man. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. Let's see.
I mean, do I have to prove that I had a breast to?
No shit. Top Lobster $2 super chat. Thanks, man. He said voters are the terrorists. Yes. We when I had Jared on Friday night, we talked about monarchy. It pissed some people off too, and I said I think it'd be like, at this point after watching. So America is like the first, like really, it's the first experiment in like nationwide democracy, right? Like it's the first one. We're the youngest country in the world. I like to call us the rebellious teenager, and we're already within 250 years, just completely becoming a socialist hellscape, because this is what democracy descends into every time. It'd almost be better to have a one benevolent monarch who makes all the fucking decisions, because you can always kill the king, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you though, Hoppe's book "Democracy: The God That Failed" I read it, and then recently when I did my big move and I drove 13 hours, I listened to I think another 3/4 of it, and it is. To me, it's required. I think that you could be like an unbelievably solid libertarian and understand political power if you just read Democracy: The God That Failed and James Burnham's The Machiavellians. If you just read both of those two books, you'd probably be one of the most solid political thinkers on the planet.
Sure. Yeah, and that's that was something that I was talking with Jared about too. It's like, Jared's like super anti-political action, right? Like big time. And
is it? Well, I thought he was for local action, like Papa.
Local, yeah. So yeah. And he said local's fine.
That's me
and
too.
Yeah, and he thinks the community stuff is good and smart, and he likes how the Mises Caucus has a focus on that localized politics. But he doesn't agree with the national stuff, obviously. And
me too.
Yeah,
me either.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to get there, dude. Like a long time, because I was like, and I still sit on the Libertarian National Committee, and I still want to see a presidential candidate that's going to do a 50-state media tour and balk like these hardcore libertarian ideals to the media every chance they get. Somebody maybe like Dave Smith. I don't know. It might be a good idea. But I do believe that all politics is local, and we should be trying to affect things in our community, because that's where we can make the biggest difference for sure. Let's see. We got some more. Libertarian podcast review. Will Pete or you contribute to Archie Flowers' GoFundMe to keep him in his apartment and car running? I actually donated $20 to that earlier, if anybody's wondering.
Is he having problems?
Yeah, he got. I don't know what's happening, but he put out a GoFundMe and Fakertarians put it out, and like all the fucking donators are like Tower Power Hour people. Me, there's somebody put Nick Fuentes on there.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. I'll throw something.
Like Archie. Listen, I talked a little bit about how somebody always comes by and reports my YouTube videos every night. I know it's not Archie. I know Archie isn't doing that shit. He's fucking a little out there and he's crazy and he says a lot of really dumb shit and he misdirects his anger, but nobody wants to see anybody get fucked over like that. So
no. I want to see, dude. I want libertarians to thrive. If you're claiming libertarianism, I want you to thrive.
Yeah,
it's like the whole Harry Brown thing. It's like the libertarians should be the most successful people. I mean, that's the way we get power. That's the way we get influence.
Sure. And
that's the way people look and they're like, hey, what's that guy doing? What's that guy or girl doing? I want to be like them.
Yeah.
And then like I remember when Jeremy Kaufman was on Fakertarians, and like one of them started shitting on him because like the FEC was not the FEC, but the SEC was coming after his coming after Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what the fuck do you know that he has employees?
He spent $2 million on that lawsuit already.
I mean, do you realize he has employees?
Right.
Do you realize if he goes under, people are out of a job?
They don't care.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's all about their virtue, man.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Do you think that they're all evil because they work for him? I hung out with Jeremy at PorkFest. And I hung out with Rachel at PorkFest. I fucking love those guys, man. I mean, that's
are you talking about Rachel?
Right
Rachel Black?
His wife.
Oh, his wife. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know his wife's name was Rachel. I never seen her.
Oh God, they're like the most amazing couple. Oh
yeah, Jeremy's like just an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah,
like absolute sweetheart, and
one of the best people at riling people up.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He'll just say whatever, because he doesn't care what people think of him, and that's one of the reasons why he's been so fucking successful in the tech business too. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people like that in big tech. And we just need them to start taking over all these fucking social media companies. Is what we need to do.
The reason why I think one of the reasons why I'm at the point now where I don't have a job and I do this full time is because I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And I think that people see that. And I think people have had enough of respectable libertarians who, wear bow ties and stuff like that. No, fuck that. Yeah. It's time. I think I told, I said this when Eric July was on my show once. So we need some hoodie motherfuckers up there delivering a message now. This is some bullshit.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now too. I got, I traveled for 4 years and I went to 40 states and I always wore a suit. And now people are exactly. Now people are asking me to come do speaking engagements that aren't for my chair runs. And I'm like, I ain't wearing a fucking suit for that shit. You know that, right? I'm gonna do my hair and I'm gonna put a hoodie and some jeans on and I'm gonna come and do it. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. Cause I never liked wearing the suit. I'm not like respectability politics guy. If I had become chair, I would have worn it for, party functions and stuff. Cause it's the proper thing to do, but I'm not the party chair. I'm a fucking at-large rep, who has a online show. You know what I mean? Like, why do I need to be all super respectable? But yeah, I agree. I think people are done with the respectability.
Only looks like a pedophile in his picture.
God damn it, dude. Damn it, Pete. You hurt my heart, man. You really killed me with that, dude. I was like, ouch, Pete, ouch. Pete. So if you guys don't know, what show were you on where you were talking about that just recently? Was that
Oh God, I can't remember. Oh my God.
One of our friends' shows, dude. All you motherfuckers got shows. I can't keep up with you. What show was it? It was no, it wasn't Chase, was it? No. I can't remember, man.
Chase who?
Chase Geiser from One American Podcast. It wasn't him.
No. I haven't been on that.
Wasn't Nick Ashley. Wasn't any of those guys.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So Pete made a post on Twitter saying if you scroll down the LNC pictures on the LP website that it looks like what is it? Did you say the DNC's like pedophile dropouts or something?
Yeah, it looks like where the DNC said all their people who got accused of pedophilia.
Oh, God
but
damn
I didn't tweet it. Remember what I did?
Yeah, I know. You just screenshotted it and posted it. Yeah, I get it. I know the game.
I made a draft and I screenshot it and I said, hey, at least I didn't tweet it.
I know the game, brother. And it you know, it hurt my heart, man. I was like, Jesus, man, I got 7 kids. Pete, what are you doing?
Oh, I know. You know, you just really have to do better with that picture.
It was a rough picture. It was a rough picture. I know. And I didn't take the pictures or they would have been a lot better. Craig, $5 super chat, man. Thanks a lot. He said, love Monopoly on Violence. Thanks for all you do, Pete. Craig, he's the man. He's like one of my favorite people. Ken Throw threw a $5 super chat. Matt Sickmeyer threw a $20 super chat. He wants to know if Pete ever gets down to his area of Savannah. Pete is hot fire. Keep it up. I guess you're kind of gone from that area now, huh?
Yeah, I'm up north now. I'm a Midwesterner now.
A Midwestern? Oh, are you?
I'm a Midwesterner now, yeah.
Where, Pete? Where? Are you close to me?
I'm somewhere in Ohio.
Oh, okay. That's like
kind of the Midwest.
Yeah, Ohio's weird. It's like Midwest East.
Yeah, it's like the ghetto of the Midwest.
Yeah. I'm in the dead center of America, man. You know what I mean? I was but you know, I think it's only like an 8-hour drive up there or something from where we're at, 8 to 10 hours, depending on where you're at, I guess. But now you get to have Skyline Chili whenever you want, bro.
I used to live in South Florida, and there were actually Skyline Chili's in South Florida.
Yeah, someone was telling me that they had them in Florida, man. I love Skyline.
In Broward County, right on University Drive, and like right between Sunrise and I can't remember, but there was one right on University Drive there, and I went there a couple times, and I'm like, all right, chocolate and chili, it's good. First 2 times, whatever.
Somebody said an ad just interrupted the stream. I'm really sorry, guys. That's very weird. Skipping around a bit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. Let's I hope you guys don't keep having problems with the stream. I know so I actually have the DVR like setting set on here so people that come in late can start at the beginning if they want to.
Okay, that's cool.
So it might be what you're experiencing. Andy Baker.
You didn't even ask me why I went to stupid Ohio.
Oh yeah, why did you go to Ohio, dude?
My fiance is here.
Oh, yeah.
Stacy for truth.
Yeah, let's talk about that because that just came out of the fucking blue, Pete. Right? Like I went on Stacy's show. God, it's got to be a couple months now. I mean, before right around the time I was starting the show, I went on Stacy's show. She's wonderful, by the way. I love her to death. And then I saw Porkfest, and you guys were like hugging at Porkfest, and I didn't think anything of that. You know what I mean? And then I saw you guys calling each other baby online, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? How did that happen, dude?
I mean, just she attacked me on Twitter. So, I mean, you know, she attacked me on Twitter.
That's how it happened.
Yeah. Then we got into DMs and, you know, stuff happens.
Yeah. Nice, dude. Good job, bro. Proud of you, buddy. And you were like going through some rough shit already too. So it was like good timing for you.
Yeah. It was, but all that's set aside and good. And all that ended very well and
good.
Happy.
I'm glad. So some people are saying that the stream dropped, but I still see a bunch of people chatting about what we're talking about. So I'm thinking you're probably having problems, not us. I'm just going to let you know. Let's see. We got some other super chats. I try to address all the super chats during my show because I'm still small enough to do that. You know what I mean? But it's getting to a point where I'm probably not going to be able to always do that anymore, which is a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. You know what I mean?
I had the most super chats I ever had was I streamed with Scott last week on Tuesday night about the end of the Afghanistan war, and that was a lot of super chats. I was pretty happy because I don't live stream a lot.
Yeah,
and I want to now that I'm doing this full time, I'm going to live stream more and everything. And if people want to send me money, I'm not going to say no.
I like the live stream. It's more fun.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. But I don't want to live stream by myself. I want to make sure I'm live streaming with someone so that you know we can. Go back and forth.
Let's see. We got some more super chats here. Josh Russo, $5 super chat. He said Cactus Gang. I don't know what that is. Is that something? Oh, because you got a cactus behind you. Duh.
I love cactus, man.
Let's see. Nick Ashley, $5 super chat. Did y'all see Archie's begging for money to pay bills? Yes. I threw him money. I think I saw Nick Ashley had thrown him some money too, though. End Democracy, $5. He said controversy? ? Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do best.
Jared. That's Jared.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Duh. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Love you to death, man. I'm taking some arrows for you from Frakertarians, man. It's really hard. It's hard stuff to deal with. Daniel 3, Biblical Anarchy, $5 super chat. He said, "Do you guys think Molyneux is too far right? I have issues with him, but I feel the good outweighs the bad, especially in the current culture war." I'm not a huge Molyneux fan. I think that a lot of his theory was great, and I'm a big fan of his peaceful parenting stuff for sure. That's really had a big influence on how I parent. But I bet Pete likes him a lot better.
Huh? No, I never listened.
Oh, really?
When he was like when he was big, like I got into libertarianism in like 2007, and by 2011, I had read like pretty much everything I wanted to read. And then I was over the next 5 years, I was working off the books, doing a lot of work, but I was also studying world religions. I was doing like I was studying Hinduism. I was practicing Hinduism for a little while. I was practicing Buddhism for a little while. And that was right around the time, I guess, that a lot of people were really getting into them. And I just wasn't into libertarianism. And then when I got back in 2016, I guess he had gone that other route. And I really didn't he wasn't really on my radar until 2017. And everybody's like, oh, he's a white supremacist. And Trump broke his brain and everything like that. And I'm like, I didn't care. So it's like he never got on my radar. I've watched an episode of a podcast where he was talking about peaceful parenting, and I thought that was one of the most amazing things I ever heard, because I grew up in a very abusive household. Sure. And so I understand that, how the kind of scars and how they stay with you over decades. Yeah, it was I talk about this a little bit family wise. It's not something I've really talked about publicly, but my daughter, who lives with me now, is 16 and actually has a daughter, so my granddaughter lives here as well. When she was like 3 or 4, we were camping and she wouldn't listen to anybody. I swatted her on the butt. She turned around and she gave me the big blue eyes, and I started crying. And then I never, ever laid my hands on my kids ever again. And now, with 7 in the house, there's days where it's like, you want to yell and scream. And it's really a challenging thing to be a peaceful parent. But because Molyneux and several other people too, I mean, there's a lot of peaceful parenting advocates out there, but his theory on it's solid, and that's kind of how I am now, and even at first, when we went from having 2 kids in the house to having 7 kids in the house in 1 year, at first it was like ripping my hair out, just like crazy. But it becomes easier, and the kids, they learn to appreciate it. You don't got to beat the shit out of your kids to get them to listen to you, man. I know some people don't agree with you, but someone was talking about you being a Florida Panthers fan, man. Are you a Panthers fan? Yeah.
Are
big
you
time? Really? I had season tickets for a bunch of years. Yeah.
Nice. So you guys got Joe Thornton now, man.
That's so insane.
Yeah,
of course, at the end, you get everybody at the end of their career, except for Pavel Bure, man. When we got Pavel Bure back in like '96, traded at Eddie Jovanovski for him. I mean, Bure was still just on fire. Some of the best games I ever went to was Pavel Bure just taking over a game, and then like he'd score his 5th goal in the 3rd period and just get lightly checked, and his knee would just pop. Yeah. It was one of those fun things. He was not fun for him, but it's just like, oh well, there we go. Yeah. Well, I'm a San Jose Sharks fan. Joey was, you guys want to know? Joey was originally Boston. I mean, so,
he was a Bruin first, and then, but I mean,
he was drafted by the Bruins.
Yeah, but then he was, he was Mr. San Jose. Him and Joe Pavelski and Marlowe and these guys. I mean, they, it's that was an amazing team. Marlowe's, it just sucks, so underrated, because in the a couple decades that they've been a hockey team, there's only been like 4 years, maybe 5 years, where they didn't go to the playoffs, and we still don't have a cup. So you want to talk about like letdown team of the century, you know what I
mean? my favorite players have always been highly skilled players that had a real edge to them, and Thornton was definitely that guy. Like, my favorite hockey player of all time was Peter Forsberg, who played for Colorado for years. He was originally drafted by the Flyers, but he was one of the most talented players I ever saw, and he won those cups with Joe Sakic and Patrick Waugh at the in Colorado when they moved from Quebec. And but he played so hard, and he would go into the corners so hard to dig pucks out that he was always hurt. So yeah, that is like, I've always had this thing where it's like my favorite players were like maybe didn't play 82 games a year, maybe they played 50.
Yeah,
you
know? yeah. I don't know. Everybody's talking about ads and the stream drop, and I usually have ads on, and it's usually just like an ad at the beginning and end. So I don't know why it's doing it in the middle. Next time I'll make sure that I won't turn the ads on for the live stream. So I apologize, guys. Let's see. Let's get some more of these. We're like 50 minutes in, and then we're going to end up doing the members only stream where there won't be any ads at all in the members only stream. I don't charge anybody for that except for the $6 a month if you guys want to be a member of the show. But let's see. Shannon Lee said, if we all see how local elections are key to win, shouldn't Dave Smith run for, say, a position for New York governor over a presidential race? See, here's the thing, and
that's not local enough.
Right. Well, here's the thing, and this is why I want to see Dave Smith run for president, because all the presidential race is for the Libertarian Party is a 50-state media tour. You have 50 states and a year to try and get into as much media as possible. Dave can do that. If anybody can do it, Dave can do it. And Dave can get on Joe Rogan, he can get on Fox, he can get on all this stuff and spread libertarian ideals. That's what we know our presidential candidate is not going to win the presidential election in 2024 or 2028, or, I mean, it could be 2 decades. You know what I mean?
Never.
If it ever happens.
Not in our lifetime.
Right. Yeah. Right. So we need to, we have to, first of all, if you want to keep a political party, you have to run a presidential candidate. It's how we keep ballot access in like 35 states. So we have to run a presidential candidate. I don't think we should put all of our resources into a presidential candidate. I think we should target states like Wyoming and New Hampshire and maybe even places like Rhode Island where there's less than 1 million people, and just start taking every seat we can and just put our resources there. That's what I think we should be doing as a national party. That's what I would have done had I been the chair of the national party. I would have ramped up the Frontier Project and really just focused on these targeted races for state house and even local races. You know what I mean? But no, it is important to run a presidential candidate. And I think if somebody is going to do it, it should be a high profile person that really understands our ideals and can message in a way that hits normies' hearts. What do you think, Pete?
Yeah. I think that the great thing about Dave is that, first of all, he's so eloquent and thinks on his feet. I mean, I know that he probably doesn't do any preparation for his show, and except maybe read the article. And he just comes up with ideas, and it's like I was interviewing him the other night. I sent him an article previous. He didn't make any notes. He just had the stuff stored in his head. And that's awesome. Also, I think that if he actually runs and if he gets the nomination, and I really wish they did the nomination a lot earlier than it should be way before, and give a chance to start that tour early. But he's going to be able to do Rogan. He's going to be able to do Dave Rubin. He's going to be able to do Timcast. But also, there's going to be a novelty aspect to it. It's like, wait a minute, this stand-up comedian is running for president of the Libertarian Party, and he
doesn't have to wear a boot on his head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, generous. And he doesn't. What it's going to be is that people are going to underestimate him. They're going to be like, people in a newsroom will underestimate him. They'll be like, okay, so this comedian's running, ha ha ha, and then they bring him in. They probably don't do any prep on it, and he just starts banging on Yemen, right, or starts banging on what's going on in Somalia, and they're not going to be ready. I wouldn't be shocked if he did some interviews and got some interviews, and if they're not live, they would scrap them.
Right.
Because he's going to nail it. I mean, he just always does. So I really don't know what kind of, like how many people he's going to attract when he runs, how many people he would attract to, libertarianism, quote unquote, and people that would stay, and it would have some staying power. But I mean, I know that the message will get out there. And even if it's at a time when we're going through COVID-24,
right,
at least it's in people's minds. At least he's planting seeds in people's minds. But, who knows what the hell's going to happen, man? The world is I mean, if you would have told me 18 months ago that the world would look like it, that I would walk into a grocery store and people were wearing masks voluntarily, I would have told you you're out of your fucking mind.
Right. Yeah, I know. The whole thing has just been absolutely insane to watch. Thankfully, I've been where I'm at.
Why I'm talking, and I don't even know why I'm talking about masks. I mean, they're talking about mandating vaccines. I think that's way more insane. And I'm sure the fakertarians are okay with that.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, as long as the private business does it, bro.
Oh, it's private business, bro.
Because private businesses really want to mandate this shit. It has nothing to do with the government at all. It's all private. They're
going to be the most fucking consistent motherfuckers on the boxcar.
Dude, we said this.
Most idealistic motherfuckers on the boxcar, and they're going to leave because it's going to be a privately owned boxcar by Walmart or Amazon. They're going to leave like a fucking Yelp review because it was air conditioned.
Yeah, we actually said that exact same thing last night on the show with Top Lobster. Like they're going to be the most consistent people on the boxcar, dude. There's no doubt about it. All right. We're getting close to the end here, but let me just get the rest of these. Andy Baker, $5 super chat. Thanks, man. He said live stream's about 15 minutes ahead of me. You guys are great. Is the solution red pilling the cops, Larkin's candles class, or what? What do you think the solution is?
It's hard to red pill people whose their mortgage, their kids' schooling, the F-150, getting paid for relies on them being blue pilled.
Yeah,
and literally blue pilled.
Yeah. I think Larkin Rose is great when it comes to being a consistent, principled philosopher. I don't know if you guys saw, but I debated Larkin Rose for about 2.5 hours during Anarchapulco, and I even had Agorist coming to me saying that you won, and is political action consistent with libertarian philosophy or ideals, and he really kind of let me paint him into a corner, and then kind of really had to show some hypocrisy to make his argument. And it was like, I think that it can be if it's a defensive thing, and so that's where I'm at. But I'm not one of those people who are like, if you're not going to get involved, then shut up. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a fucking loser. Let's see. Let's get through some more of these real quick. Fubu, thanks for the $2 super chat. He said cheering episode of Free Man Beyond the Wall was great. I didn't hear that one.
Which one?
Cheering?
Sharon.
Yeah.
I had Sharon's that town in Mexico that kicked out all the politicians and the cartel.
Oh, yeah.
Matt King is a documentary filmmaker. He went down there and did like a 23-minute documentary on it. And it's actually towards the end of Monopoly on Violence. There's a clip we use a clip from that. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's
we
good.
talked about a lot. We talked about a lot of other stuff besides Sharon, like how he almost died in a forest fire recently.
Oh, geez. In California?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go figure. That's
Dixie
how
fire? Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. He got caught in the Dixie fire, yeah.
Fret Pound, $5 super chat. He said, God damn, I love Pete. We'll listen to anything he's on. I already listened to his podcast, though. Thanks, man. We'll make sure you subscribe to mine, too. We got great people on every night. We lost a ton of viewers. I think what happened was I think those ads were like fucking it up somehow. I'm not going to run ads on my live streams anymore. I didn't know it was doing like ads in the middle of the stream. I thought it just did it at the beginning and end. Yeah. Fubu, thanks for becoming a new supporter of the show. Also, Bradley Ray, thank you guys. TJ Fitzsimmons, $10 super chase said, "Let's go Canucks." No, get out. Get out.
Go.
With the Kings, $2 super chat. My only social public voice. Love you guys. Omoy Kane, $3. Josh, Pete accepts XMR, so should you. Great show. I guess I can put all my wallet addresses in the description of the streams if you guys want me to.
It's on my website.
I dedefinitely accept Monero, man. I'm a big fan of the Moneros. So absolutely. I have all that stuff, all of it. So I'm really, really sorry, guys, that you guys had a choppy stream tonight. Hopefully it won't be like that at the end when you guys, if you want to go back and watch it or whatever. Let me know if in the comments if you're watching this and it's not live and it's doing that. But that's really weird.
Choppy on this end.
Yeah, I usually don't have ads in between. I wonder if they changed something. Usually it's just an ad in the beginning and then an ad at the end. So I really apologize for you guys. Michael Rufo, $10 super chat. Thanks, Rufo. Said, because why not? What's up, suckers? Great show tonight. End Democracy, $5 super chat. Everyone read What Must Be Done. We Can Win.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I just did a live stream on that with Matt Erickson and Andrew from Popular Liberty. Let me tell you something. Andrew from Popular Liberty, this is the guy who's going to lead us to the promised land.
No shit. I'll have to check him out.
He's going to lead us to the promised land. Yeah, you got to have him on. You got to have him on and talk.
Yeah.
You just talk shit with him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I will, man. I definitely want to check him out. We could talk more Hoppa in the members only stream and all that good stuff for sure. I've been, I talked with Jared about it on Friday. How I never really got into like reading.
Hoppa right there.
I never really got into reading Hoppa. I kind of stopped at Rothbard. I got Mises and then Rothbard. And then I became like this giant Rothbard fan and never really got into it. And then when I went on Fakertarians, it's been over a year now. Yeah, there we go. Nice. I just ordered, what book did I just order? I just ordered one that but I read Democracy too. So that was the one that I read after I went on Fakertarians and they were trying to grill me on Hoppa. And I was like, look, I haven't read enough. Oh, nice. Yeah. I got to check that one out too. I'm going to buy that one probably tonight. But we'll definitely talk more about that in the members only stream.
I have one that if I showed it, Fakertarians would absolutely they'd burn.
Is it the bell curve? Is it the bell curve?
Down.
Is it the bell curve?
Yeah. Commentary on James Burnham by Samuel Francis. If anybody knows who Samuel Francis is right now.
He's gonna lose. They're gonna lose it. All right. So Pete, what do you got coming up, man? Where can people find you? How can they support you? And we'll get this stream ended and we'll start the members only stream.
Yeah, Free Man Beyond the Wall podcast. Literally, while this was going on, I dropped an episode where Dave and I talked about COVID tyranny. And at the ending, we talked about faith, religion, family, culture, a bunch of other things. And I think people are going to really like that part and get really upset by that part. And my Substack, Pete Quinones is .substack.com. It's called By Any Means Necessary. And go, if you got Amazon Prime, Monopoly on Violence is free. And if not, I think it's $2.99 or $3.99. I don't know. I didn't do that.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap, I think. The documentary, when I watched it, I think it was like $3-4. Worth every penny, for sure. But, brother, I appreciate you very much. If you could just hold on a few seconds, I'll get this stream ended out, and we'll do the members-only stream.
Of course.
All right, brother. All right, guys, another awesome episode. I'm really, really sorry that the stream was choppy for you guys. Hopefully, it won't be that way in the playback, and I will moderate the ads better tomorrow night for my show. Coming up on the show tomorrow night, Stephen Daniel will be on. He wrote a great book about the Second Amendment that will just blow your absolute mind. We're going to talk about his book. Charlie Robinson is going to be on Thursday. He's an author of several books. It's going to be great. And then Friday, just added, I will have Cam and Jess from the Mad Ones on. That's going to be a lot of fun. They're probably one of the most underrated podcasts out there. If you guys don't listen to the Mad Ones, definitely check them out. Guys, if you want to come and watch the members only stream with Pete or all my other guests, we always do like 10 to 30 extra minutes in the members only stream. It's like $6 a month, get you exclusive access. You also get all the cool hand-drawn emojis that you see people using in the chat, hand-drawn by Top Lops himself, or you also get like badges that say how long you've been a member, or you can join the Patreon or Subscribe Star and get that stuff uploaded by the next day at some point. But you also get all that really cool Top Lobster gear, super cheap, all the new stuff that he puts out. Make sure and check out toplobster.com where you can get a 10% discount by using BTC at checkout. Or like I said, join the Patreon, Subscribe Star, or become a member of the channel to get it much cheaper in the Discord. And of course, executive producer of the show, anthemplanning.com for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check them out today. See what they can do for your business, home, or personal life. They're doing a wonderful job that the government has historically sucked at much cheaper and much more efficiently. Guys, check out my email list. I got an email list now. If you go to my Twitter on the link tree there, I think it's in the description of my shows as well. You guys can sign up for my newsletter. We put out like at least once a week. But my good friend Josh, who wrote a book called Second Story Work, he was on the show a couple months ago, if you remember that. We're going to be giving away his book as a PDF. It's a really cool book. You're going to enjoy it, I promise you. It's not political philosophy. It's actually entertaining. So you'll be getting that if you sign up for the email list. Plus, you get all our updates and all kinds of cool stuff. We'll let you know when there's definitely discounts for all kinds of sponsor stuff. I will see you guys tomorrow for the show with Stephen Daniel. But until then, Don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just landed in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just landed in Minecraft. Well, Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just landed in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse. In Minecraft, just in Minecraft. Nothing I mean, you know it. No product dinners, get some clothes from COVID. Holy shit, I think I